right, you guys, podcast time.
Chew. It's quieter.
Fucking podcasting right now.
Chew quieter.
And now, to the podcast studio.
Hey, welcome back to Chew Quieter. How are you?
That's a new intro.
Good? Yeah.
I gotta mix it up.
We just like pulled back on this one.
Yeah, I came in like someone that was on ayahuasca or some shit.
Yeah. It's like, hey man, what's going on, bro?
Welcome to the Tommy Chong Show.
Yeah.
Hey man, how you doing, man?
Yo, where am I?
Speaking of accents, the wife and I were watching F1, and the commentator David Kuthar was using some of the most craziest analogies for racing. And so the wife called, I kind of like thought about it, like, you know, like he was doing that. And the wife called it out and she's like, do you notice that he's using like crazy analogies for things? So he's saying things like, oh, the farmer has a goat, but no milk. It's like, what the fuck does that mean?
Really?
So likely he was put on the spot by his friends to say a bunch of weird crap.
Yep.
Well, if you listen to F1, I mean, there's not much to you know talk about because you're just watching the race basically, and the guy that's doing the commentary is basically trained to visualize numbers and names with corners and you know talk about that situation, especially if there's a battle going on between midfielders and people that's you know the front runner. So it's interesting to hear different takes on it on F1 like F1 TV compared to Sky Net or Sky Sports. There are a bunch of homers on Sky, if you ask me. They're very based to England in the UK. Those drivers, so I mean they're totally sucking off Lewis Hamilton.
Of course, why not?
Every single fucking race.
Yeah.
But F1 is very unbiased on a lot of their takes, which I like. It's like $82 a year, but I never miss a race.
Yeah, I used to subscribe to that when I was driving a lot. So I could push it to the stereo in the car on the screen and watch the race while I'm driving down the highway. Mm-hmm. But it just become too, I don't know. I got out of F1 for a little bit because it was just a change. The sport changed so much that it wasn't about the drivers anymore. It was about the team. It's not down to driver so much anymore. It's the car that does all the job. And I got out of it for a little bit. But now I'm sort of getting back into it because now it's getting more interesting again. It's not just Red Bull. There's three teams in it now, if not four, and they're starting to get closer.
Well, just to see McLaren come back from where they were at the start of last year to how they finished, and then now how they're just keeping that momentum into this year.
Well, it's taken them 4 years to get to where they are today.
Yeah.
So, you know, they had Ricciardo for a little bit, and I wish he had stayed there because at the end of the day, Ricciardo's a good driver. He just hasn't had the car. He hasn't had the luck.
Well, he hasn't made the best decisions because he should not have left Red Bull. He went to Renault when Renault was just shit. And then all of a sudden their engines were just failing every single fucking race.
Yep. Yeah, well, 2 years before that, Renault engines were good. So that's why he did jump ship because they were promising all these good things. Well, the engines, they did something else to the engines. They made a change and they went backwards.
Yeah.
But everyone went forwards.
This was before my time, but I think Renault engines were in Red Bull.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. They had a contract with Red Bull, and then they decided to, you know, up their game with their cars. But I think the contract was made that Red Bull was number one before the actual race team for Renault. So whatever Red Bull needed, they came first.
Yeah.
So that's just that.
Interesting race. Last race, both Ferrari cars were DQ'd for different reasons. But
Yeah, I'm waiting for him to take off his lap record because Lewis got the lap record for the Chinese track.
Oh,
So if they found the problem with the car at race spec, because I think his car was the one that
Too
had.
low.
Yep. So if the car was too low during qualifying, or whenever he did the lap record, they're going to probably take that off him too.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that Red Bull's having a lot to do with the stuff because they've been number one win after win. And I think they're starting to get their nose out of joint and complaining here, there, and everywhere because the teams have come back up and they're competitive to Red Bull.
yeah. A lot of teams have spent money on R&D, and you can see it. Like McLaren had that flex wing for a while before it became illegal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just pure engineering. So at least teams that have stepped it up and spent some money on some quality people in their shop. So good on them. Anyway, enough of F1. Armando's over there fucking dying.
Yeah, he's falling asleep. He's like, please help me.
Yeah. Guys, you're talking
like,
Chinese.
You be talking football for all I care.
Or
We don't talk
movies.
football.
Or
Yeah,
movies.
Hey, you know what? I did watch Twisters. It's on Netflix. Did you see
About
have you
the
seen
tornadoes?
that? Yes.
I haven't seen the new one, no.
And the funny thing was, the day I watched it, which was Sunday, we got bad weather, and I'm like,
Oh, we
here
got
I
some
am watching
bad weather.
tornadoes on like bad weather, and I'm watching tornado movies. I'm like, good one, Chris. Like, is this your, are you researching before the big one comes? And then I watched the Joplin special last night.
I've been wanting to watch that one. I heard it's funny because all they do is interview gay people or something.
One guy's gay. One guy looks like he's on meth. And then the other
If he
two,
looks like it, he probably is.
yeah. Then he got pulled out of his car. So
I think Kim was watching that the other day.
yeah, it's not bad. It shows a lot of devastation, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, but yeah, she was watching. I was like cooking, and I was in the kitchen. She's on the couch watching it, and I'm like looking over every so often, and I was like, okay, what the hell is this even about?
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes into like that. What you talk about that you said that the meth guy, and all of a sudden they're like in town, like in downtown at this like I don't know that one gay guy is like in a coffee shop or something.
No, he's in an ice cream shop.
Or okay, I don't know. I wasn't watching.
Hang on. He works in a yogurt shop.
Okay. All right.
that's
So he
his
was in
gay.
downtown. The downtown is nice.
Fro-yo.
And then they show the tweaker dude, and they like go to the other side of the tracks. They're freaking. There's the trailers and
Yep.
overgrown grass, broken down cars in the yards, the pit bulls running around everywhere. I'm like, okay, this guy lives on the other side of town.
I'm just driving around, cruising. That's what he was doing. We had no idea there was a tornado. We drove straight into it.
Like Jeffrey Dahmer. Hey,
Oh my
guys.
God. Yeah, pretty much.
I just want to take some pictures.
Yeah. But talk about racing. I went in your neck of the woods over the weekend, Gabe.
Oh, where?
I was in Tullahoma.
Oh, okay.
I was at the Polecat Training Center
Good to know.
with some friends from Atlanta, with the guys I used to go up in the mountains with and race, Porsches and Lambos, McLarens, all that kind of stuff. So we were out there racing around the track. It's 2.1 miles and got the AMG out there and it was a good day. It was fun.
Is it
Tore
an
up
open
some-
track? You just have to pay and you go in?
Yeah, well, you got to hire the track out. So we had the track for the day. There was probably about 30 cars, I'd say. We split up into 3 groups. The faster group, the middle group, and then we had the smaller group. Well, it was the biggest group because they were more novice. And it was a good day. Pretty much ran out of fuel down the main straight on the last session. forgot all about, like, I went out with a quarter of a tank, and within 4 laps, I'm chasing. I passed another AMG GT, passed him going down the straight. I'm like, yep, I'm going to pull away from you, dude. And halfway down the straight, I hit about 140 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Coming down the straight, I'm starting to pull away from him. He's looking smaller and smaller in the mirror. Next minute, I'm like, brr. I'm like, what the hell happened? The car just went into limp mode. And I'm like, well, I pull off the main straight and look down. I'm like, oh, I got no gas. Oh, wonder where all that just went. Like, that went really fast. I chewed through 21 gallons of fuel in 73 miles.
Wow.
It was
That's
lot
cooking.
of fun. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
How's the tires?
My fronts on the outside got a little blistered. Like, I was driving pretty hard. Like, the car wasn't really set up for the track.
Mm-hmm.
So I was pretty much dragging. I was pushing the front end around pretty much the whole day. I got probably the 3rd lap was the best lap where the tires had the most grip. 4th, 5th lap, they just got too hot and were just sliding all over the track.
Mm-hmm.
So I was pretty much using the back wheels to push the front. Still fast. Drove with no traction off most of it because traction control was just, I don't know, I think it was slowing me down, not making me fast because it was just pulling power. And I'm wanting to go faster through the thing, and it's just not let me. So once I took traction off, I had more. The car was more in my control after that. There was a few little scary moments that I accelerated too hard out of a corner and got a little bit sideways.
Mm-hmm.
Going sideways at 70, 55, 60 miles an hour is not fun. No. And then when I was chasing that GT down the track, the lap before I ran out of gas, it got pretty hairy. I think I caught some bad wind off him, and there's a few bumps at the point where you hit the peak power, the peak mile per hour.
Mm-hmm.
The back end got a little bit out. So, 120, 130 miles an hour, skipping down the road was a little crazy. And then when you come into the first corner, you've got to be on the brakes pretty hard. Well, I saved the car all the way down to that corner. And I made up a pretty big ground on him because I literally coasted the car through that chicane down there and ran out of brakes, and it was scary. But that's just what it is.
Yeah. Do they have marks for braking, or do you just have to take a couple of turns on the track and then figure it out?
Yeah. So we did 2 parade laps, get to know the track a little bit. The first session was like I was all over the place because it's just like there's too many corners to remember. After the first session, you sort of know where all the corners are at and how to take them. So the second session, when you come out, it's like you're hitting all the corners properly, but you're faster.
Mm-hmm. And
the third session is just like, well, you know where you have to be on the track and what corner, how to take a corner and all the rest of it. But yeah, it's a good, fun track to be at.
Do the corners have the red and white checkers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So that's one way to know where to take the turn. I figured that out.
Yeah. On my Facebook, I think I put a few videos up of me coming down the main straight, but one of them is where the car got pretty loose. I got to 141 miles an hour. I said to the guy, film me coming down. He goes, well, don't show off. I said, I won't show off. Don't worry about it. I don't look to see who's filming. I just go. Mm-hmm. Well, where I let off, I was doing 141. Nice. And it was hard on the brakes all the way down. You can hear one of the guys, he goes, man, that dude makes me feel sketchy watching him. Because it was very late braking into that corner. And we had a 250,000 Porsche get destroyed on Friday.
No way.
Yeah, he didn't come down the main straight properly. He clipped a bit of grass. It shot him across the track, and he tried to correct it, and he hit some tires, went over the creek, hit the opposite side embankment, and flipped it. But he walked out with just a few cuts. So the only safety equipment he had, I don't think he has a harness in it. I think he just has a seatbelt. He had his helmet on, and the Porsche did all the rest. It's got a factory roll cage. Those cars are strong. Like, from what they are at the factory to the damage this car had, like, you could roll on its roof and drive it home. If you didn't hit that embankment, he probably would have been able to drive it home. It was crazy, the amount of stuff that was wrong with it.
Wow.
But apart from that, it was good. I can't wait for the next day. The car will be a lot different next time I go out. It'll be set up better tyres, more grip, and start chasing down some of these Porsches.
Maybe I'll have my BMW by then.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Better
Talk
get
the wife
moving.
into it. We have
you
a
did?
plan for it. Yeah. So we found I think you suggested it. Just trade in her car and get the BMW, keep the truck, because that was the dilemma. I didn't want to get rid of the truck because there was still stuff I wanted to do around the house. I needed the truck for that. So
what are you
I was
going
like,
to
hey,
get?
I was like, what do you think about? Because she just got a raise and a bonus, new position and everything. So we can afford a little bit of a step up now. So we're looking at I want the two M240.
Yep.
But I want the coupe. She wants the Grand Coupe. And the Grand Coupe makes, I think, 50 less horsepower. I think it has a smaller turbo.
Oh, it could be weight too. It could be weight. That makes it, pull less. But that's a good beginner car. It'll get you in there.
Yeah. Or that, or the M235.
Yeah, all good cars.
I definitely want an M car just because I know it's going to have that extra package for the brakes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Get you
We'll
coming
see
out
what
running with
happens.
me.
Yeah.
We'll take you up in those mountains.
That would be fun.
Not so much
The
in
wife-
Tennessee. The cops are too bad in Tennessee.
The wife actually went to, there's a famous driving school. I think it's in Arizona. Do you know what I'm talking about, Armando?
The barber school.
Yeah, that's it. That's where she went. She works
Yeah,
for.
it's at Chandler.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Not too far from me. It's like 45 minutes from me.
So her company paid for her to go out there as part of what she was doing for the company.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she can drive.
Oh, so you'll be passenger, Gabe.
I wouldn't mind.
Nice.
As long as we're driving fast, it'd be fun.
Oh, yeah. Well, we need someone to film, so you can't do both.
There you go. That is true.
So
Yeah,
what? So
can't do
which
both.
one is it you're looking at?
Either the M235, which isn't out yet. I don't think that comes out until the summer. Or the M240.
So it's the M2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the M240 makes just under 400 horsepower. The M235 makes just over 300. We're also looking at possibly the S3, Audi S3.
I had one.
Why
I
don't
had
you
an
just-
S3.
Why aren't you just going M8?
M8?
No,
Yeah.
M8 sucks.
No. Isn't that electric or hybrid?
No,
They're not that good.
Or am I thinking of the 7?
they're not that good. It's a 617 horsepower,
Yeah, they don't handle very good.
3 seconds, 0 to 60. I don't know.
Look at the 0 to 60 on the 240 M240.
M240 is 3.9 seconds. The M2.
The M2 slower than the M240.
Well, that's all they're showing it. That's probably the fastest of the models. It just shows M2.
I think even Gerald said that the M240 was faster than his M2.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about the BMW platform. I know the straight 6 is a good engine. That's why they dropped the V8, because this straight 6 is killer. But it doesn't sound good. It sounds like it sounds like a tractor. That's what it sounds like. You just can't beat a V8 sound. I'm sorry.
The M8 competition Grand Coupe is you can lease it right now. The lease offer is $1,659 per month
Yeah.
for 36 months with $10,000 due at signing.
10,000.
Yeah. And the car Gabe's looking at is like 45 grand.
No, it's
No,
like
it's,
65.
Yeah.
It's like 65. But
Which one are you looking at, Gabe?
The M2.
The M240.
Yeah, the M2 started at 65.
I think it's about 56, 58 after it's like packaged out.
Oh, I'm looking at a 23 model.
The M8 is a 4.4 liter V8 twin turbo, so it's probably 617 horsepower twin turbo. Yeah, I want that.
There's a lot of tunes for the BMWs too.
Oh yeah. That car would easily make 1,000 horsepower with a little bit.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Stinger. There's 5 mods you can do on the Stinger, and the Stinger will do 900 horsepower. I'm like, fucking really?
Yeah. We got a Stinger in town that's pretty quick.
Does it have one of those fart cans?
No.
Do you have one of those tunes on yours?
The burble tune? The pop
Yeah.
pops?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine pops.
You like the pops.
Just a little pops, not a whole great deal. So Huntsville has just brought a law in. Of course I did, because, I'm here now. That they can pull you over and give you a fix-it ticket for your loud exhaust. So any modifications you've done your exhaust, they can do a fix-it ticket for the first time. It's a $50 fine. Second time, it's $250 fine. Third time, you're at $500.
So don't get caught.
Well, that's the plan.
Well, here's the son of a bitch. At lower RPMs, those things pop more, don't they?
No, it's at higher RPM when they go. It's what it is. It's the Honda people, because they sound like gunshots. So everyone reports, guns are being fired in the neighborhoods, and it's just some stupid idiot ricer in a Honda going, pep, 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 pep. And I'm just, okay, whatever, dude.
Everyone thinks it's a gunshot until they actually hear what a gunshot sounds like.
Yes. Yeah. Well, the little Hondas, because they're little 4-cylinder bangers, they actually do, and their exhaust pipes like the size of this. So a backfire coming outside of that does sound like a gunshot. And I'm just, oh my god.
What they need,
Armando, I think it's worth going back to. I think it's worth going back to LA for a weekend. It's worth going back to LA for a weekend and just doing that somewhere in the neighborhood and watch cholos fall to the ground.
Yeah, so Saturday nights here in Huntsville, we have a big meet at Johnny Grill's. Yeah, we'll have about 200 cars turn up. I took some people for a drive Saturday night, and by the time I was out for 40 seconds, we got a message back to say, come back, there's 40 cop cars, they're kicking everybody out, they're going to trespass everybody, because we had all a local truck meet decided it was going to pull in, and they're all Carolina squatted, and they're doing burnouts and just being hillbilly shit, and caused caused all of us to get out. And the funny thing is, there's one truck that goes in there. It's aqua color, and it's a girl owns it, and she has an OnlyFans. So I don't know how this truck has built so big, because she ain't fucking good looking. So she's not the best thing to look at, but apparently has this really good OnlyFans, and everyone comes around to look at her truck, and I'm just like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
Just another
industry
one of those
plants.
Fucking OnlyFans people.
It's a bunch of. That's how these people wonder. I don't. Okay, so here's the thing. I just saw this on. Oh God, where was it? I think it was on X or Facebook, one of those. But the guy was talking. Oh, it was on YouTube. I just saw it there. This guy was talking about influencers and how he thinks that the trend is going to start to wind down because a lot of them have been compromised, I guess you can say. One guy was caught buying thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of clothes at Walmart, saying that he's on video that he's going to take them to charity and he's going to give them away. And all of a sudden he got a whole bunch of likes and his followers went up and he got donations and all kinds of shit. Turns out the next day he took them back to Walmart.
Yeah, it's all smoke and mirrors, really, when stuff like that, because how do you know it's true? Mm-hmm. Like, you're not there. They're just showing you what you need to see.
Yeah. And they had another example of a girl that was just showing off all of her handbags and all this other stuff that she got for Christmas. And some people noticed, like, hey, since when does Chanel put price tags on their stuff? And someone else mentioned, like, something else about a handbag that she got. And she found out that later that she took that video down and someone found out that she bought it all from, I guess, DH Gate, which is a China replica goods website or something.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just the world we live in. You can be fake now and earn money.
Yeah.
But hey, all power to them. They don't have any morals.
Or standards.
Yeah, you don't want to lie to people.
The only thing that I can see gaining from it is money, because in the long run, it's only a small amount of people that you're getting sympathy from, really.
Mm-hmm. Oh, talk about influencers. Have you noticed who a certain person is missing off TikTok? A very political person on TikTok. He's about probably 19, 20 years of age.
You're talking about Harry Stinson or whatever his name is? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you hear about why he's not on social media anymore?
Yeah, the DNC dropped them from their campaign platform or some shit like that.
Do you know
they stopped
why?
paying him. Was he gay? Did he finally come out gay?
No, he was asking girls to send naked photos to him.
Nice.
And they busted him. They all came out and busted him.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's a term for that.
Yeah. Idiot.
No. It's an espionage spy. It's an espionage type spy name given to a girl, sent to a high officiating person, male, in hopes that that person finds them attractive and wants them to have sex with them or do other sexual things with them. They tried it with Donald Trump, and they tried it with I can't remember who they said it was, but it was most recently Donald Trump who they sent one to, and he found out right away and just fired her. He was like, "I'm not falling for this shit."
Yeah. How stupid are you got to be?
Yeah.
Like, if you're a social person like he is on social media, why would you allow that to happen? That's the same shit. And I'm not anything special, but everyone used to say to me, like, you do all the Jeep shows, you'll get all the Jeep girls, and you do this and you do that. And, I was single. Shit can happen. Mm-hmm. There is not a chance in hell that I would allow myself to be put in that position. Mm-hmm. Because you can't do that. My face is public. I have a reputation, and it can be smeared really fast.
Here's a funny story. I told my wife the same thing about that. And she's like, "Oh, so you're just worried about getting caught." And I was like, "Son of a bitch." And I can't even fucking... Because she had the same concern. She's like, "Oh, you're going to these shows, you're going on these things, and there's all these Jeep girls." I'm like, trust me, I'm not... They're not on my radar, nothing. Nope. I said, plus, I'm not stupid enough to like do this thinking I can get away with it, because they're going to tell people, they're going to be like, "Oh, that guy." And she's like, "Oh, great. So you would if you didn't get caught." And I was like, "Oh, fuck."
If I wasn't
they always
married,
find a loophole.
yes, but come on.
Yeah. Even if I was single, I didn't want to get caught.
Yeah.
Because you don't want that reputation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not a good thing.
When I was a DJ, I wanted people to know.
Yeah, of course.
That was the thing. You had to be that guy.
Yeah. But the whole thing is, too, you'd go to another DJ set and no one would know you slept with that person.
Yeah, or they would say, "Oh, you too."
Yeah. You sleep with a Jeep girl, and everyone's going to know about it.
Yeah, you're gonna smell it.
Oh God, Gabe.
That's true.
That is.
Stop me if I'm lying.
Oh. Anyways,
Speaking of Jeep stuff, Armando wanted to bring up something that is actually pretty dangerous to off-roading, and that's closures of trails. I haven't really, I don't have too much information on it. I know that it was happening a lot in the western states.
so what trails do they stop now in Moab?
I don't know. Ever since I moved, I stopped paying attention because there's no closure worries out here. We just pay for.
Well, yeah.
parks,
There's
so-
nothing. There's nothing. There's not a lot that's open on the East Coast. Most of
It's all private.
most of it, the East Coast is going to be private. Anything that's out here on the West Coast would be more open and
BLM land.
BLM and controlled. So there's a lot of local things that are happening right now. I think probably the most recent that most of our viewers would know would be the Oceano Dunes that was getting closed at out near Pismo. So essentially where all those side by sides and
Is that where they have all the accidents?
off-roaders.
Yeah.
No, that's gonna be Glamis. Glamis has a lot of accidents with the dunes are always a problem. We see it even in San Hollow.
Yeah.
At the
Wasn't
dunes,
there just
even
an
out in
accident
Moab.
there though?
At San Hollow?
No.
At Glamis?
Pismo.
Oh yeah, at Pismo. I don't know, but there's just all these different areas that have these closures that are happening now, and it's more and more. And there was a big, almost like a mass signing as Biden was leaving, just allowing them to just close shit that had no reason, rhyme, or legality to be closed.
Wow.
And
Hopefully it was done with his auto pen because everything you
And-
sign with his auto pen's going to shit.
Right.
so, but the problem is it's not just for off-roaders, and we look at it as it's an off-road problem, but I mean, they're talking about closing trails and access
Walking trails.
into areas where
Wow.
where you can't walk anymore.
Yep.
So a lot of this is people that with access needs, where you can't hike 4 miles out there, but you can drive down a trail to get there and then walk the quarter mile to get to the vantage point or whatever. So it's an issue for a lot more than just the off-road people and people in motorized. Think about bird watchers.
Mm-hmm.
Think about just hikers. All this stuff that's going to happen and start to close these areas off from you. Even is minuscule issue and it's not minuscule, but issues of campers, like people that go off-grid camping. We do it a lot with the travel trailer. Is that we'll go out, and I don't like to camp inside a reserved spot or in an area where I have another trailer right next to mine. Just not really my cup of tea. We
defeats
do it
the
a couple
purpose.
places. There's a couple places where we do it. We know that we want to be in that area, so you have to do it. It's the only place you can go. But for the most part, we go out and we do open camp, and they're trying to close off these areas where you might have been open camping for years. Even worse, you might even own a piece of property out somewhere that you need to drive this trail on to get to access your property, and they're closing it off. And a lot of it's done just like overnight. Like they'll just like, well, yeah, someone just allowed it, and there's a lot of that's happening right now. So, yeah, there's a lot. Like just right now, Lake Powell is under some issues because of the water. Now they're going to restrict access, so boaters are going to start feeling some of this. All the stuff in Moab, which we know about. The whole dispersed camping side of it is done. Well, not done. It's in there. But probably the biggest one that's happening right now is going to be the 665 miles of trails out at the swell. And people have property out there, and they're stopping people from actually going out there and using their own property. So
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
So
I'm looking for a tweet right now that I had, and I can't remember if it was on X or Facebook, but some years ago, I probably was drunk or something, but I was thinking logically. I remember that, and I was pissed off because of Biden did something, and I said to myself, and then I put it on social media, that I predict in 8 years, if another liberal takes the White House again, we would lose trails in outdoor space for recreational activities.
Yeah, because they don't want us out there.
Yeah.
The more people learn how to go off grid, go camping, and survive without having to go to the supermarket and whatever else, you can't control that person.
But this is the idea, is that they're stopping motorized and off-roaders, and yes, I'm not going to say that every person that goes off-roads responsibly, but for the most part, most off-roaders want to be on the trail, want to enjoy the scenery, want to actually be out there. But it's not even that. It's blocking your access to even just camping, to bird watching, to anything that you're trying to do within nature. They're going to close it off. And it starts off with oh yeah, well, no motorized. So then, okay, well, no side by sides. Okay, and then no Jeeps. Oh, no motorcycles. It's even as e-bikes are being targeted now, and then even walking. So, at what point, is it an electric wheelchair? You can't. You can drive here, but you can't take your electric wheelchair because your tracks are going to touch something that.
Yeah, you might run over a lizard.
An issue. Yeah, and it's the same lizard's going to get eaten by a freaking bird the next day. But we're gonna say that we get it. We want to go out there. We want to protect. We want to enjoy. We want to see. And you're not trying to damage or kill or anything while you're out there. But it's part of nature, and even the animals that are out there are eating the stuff that you're trying to save.
Yep.
When you look at conservation for a species, or conservation because these are dwindling, well, you know what? Why? Because it's probably the number one thing people want to eat. Not people, but other animals.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So yeah. So
I can't find that. I can't find that post that I made, but I found something funny. You want to hear it?
Sure.
Okay. If you're an influencer and your friends are influencers and their friends are influencers and all of your followers are influencers, you're involved in one big circle jerk. It's not about influencing anymore. It's about gaining popularity without merit. Your vapid content does not reflect you and who you are. It's just mirrors everyone else sees.
Mm-hmm. And that we brought this up previously, that influencers all do the same thing. It's like one does it, and then they all have a meeting, and they go, "Okay, everyone got to do the same content."
Yeah,
and it's just the same content. There's no original ideas. There's nothing out there. They're all just doing the same thing that everyone else is doing. It's like, okay, I get it. You want to go out and explore. You want to take pictures. You want to do. Basically, you're now becoming a content creator, and you're creating new and innovative content that's new, different, and doesn't have to be what's popular or top of the popularity chain here. If you're doing something that's cool that people actually see, and part of it is social media has changed the algorithm so that you're just getting saddled unless you have people follow you. So now they've changed the algorithm so that everything you do is only going to be shared if it's shared again, and then it's the same thing, and it becomes the trend, and the trend becomes what drives anything on social media, or even YouTube is the same thing.
Yeah, I just like how most of the the influencers now in our neck of the woods have all moved to St. George. Like, it's the same content you're doing. Red Rock Jeep, Red Rock Jeep. Oh, look, there's another influencer, and we joined forces, and now I have an influencer on my channel, and you have another influencer on your channel. It's like, get your own damn ideas. Be different. I watch a lot of overlanders now because they're actually showing new content that you don't get to see.
Yeah.
They're going places that you don't see. How many times can you watch Sand Hollow? Like, there's only so many trails in Sand Hollow to, oh, that's new. No, I saw that on their channel. No, that's not new because I saw that on that channel.
Well, and then the best part is you see the other person's Jeep that you just saw it on in the same video.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's like, wait a minute, you didn't even like try a different trail. You just went out and like both
different footage.
Y'all posting from 12 feet behind.
Yep.
Okay.
So just
It's gotten super stale, but it's like that across all different genres. Even the gun YouTubers.
Yep.
They're like, Garand Thumb used to be great entertainment, and now it's just forced. Like his latest video, he's shooting the wrong caliber bullet out of the wrong caliber suppressor. Like, what do you think is going to happen? What the fuck do you think is going to happen, you dumbass?
Yep.
It's called a catastrophic failure.
Yeah, they're just running out of content because they've flooded it so much that there's nothing new to create.
There is, but you have to use your brain, and you actually like find something that's going to work. And everyone it's becoming laziness. Is like, the whole idea is that you're supposed to be finding something that's new, different, and interesting,
entertaining.
They're just like, it's all just calling it in. There's just so many now.
Yeah. Well, daily driven exotics is, it's exotic cars. They daily drive them. I used to watch that channel religiously every day. Now I just I don't give a shit. It's the same shit over and over and over. Nothing's new. It's stale. Your content's the same. It's like, I'm bored. Give me something else. And the off-roading stuff is getting to be the same way. The only one I do like watching is still Marvin, because Marvin is doing different stuff now. He does his 24 hours. He does his overseas stuff now. I look forward to watching when he goes overseas and does the off-roading over there, because there's so much other stuff that happens overseas in the off-road world that we don't see. Like in China, no one knows what Chinese do to Jeeps over there. I was watching the other day, I think it was yesterday or today, was a Jeep probably doing 60 miles an hour down the road, like on a dirt trail, drives across a bed of water, and aquaplanes across the water, hits a jump and jumps over the Jeep, jumps over the jump. And then it'll flick, and there's another Jeep going flat out over drainage pipes. Like, we would look at that and go, that's going to destroy my Jeep. And here they are, going flat out over these things, and the Jeep's bouncing around, doing stupid shit. And I'm like, that D30 is going to be bent to shit. But they drive off away with it.
It's all right. They're gonna fix their axle in their garage with a blowtorch, and he's gonna be wearing flip flops
and Alibaba.
An arc welder with a freaking stick, stick and flip flops. Like, I don't know how many of those videos pop up. I'm like, what the heck? Like, these guys like from every third world country in the world, they're in flip flops and shorts with an arc welder.
And they're wearing two pairs of sunglasses for protection.
For protection, yep.
Yeah, and like the same,
or he's got one piece of cardboard with a window tint layered in there, and he's just doing this, or the flat helmet that gets with your $99 welder, just the flat helmet in there.
Yeah, you hold.
Yeah.
And he's just holding it. He's just holding it, like
A paint stick with some film on it.
exactly. I'm like, hey,
Yep.
do you, boo?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just something different. And it's like, so the stuff I watch in China is like, did you ever see the Chinese games they play with people? Like before Squid Games came along and all this kind of shit. Like,
There used to be this one called Extreme Challenge or something, like guys
Yes.
wearing these Japanese warrior outfits.
uh-huh.
And they go like these obstacle courses and shit.
So
remember
did
that
you
one?
see, what was it called? Splash Zone or something, where they'd be on the obstacle course and run across water and stuff? The big balls. Surely you got to
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that started off in China
right.
or Japan, because they do the most stupidest games, like for TV ever. Like you can watch that shit all day because they make them do crazy stuff, and it's like, oh, you get a bowl of rice at the end. You do stupid shit. You climb over here, and look what you'll get.
What the fuck was that show called? Extreme.
I can't remember what it's called. My kids used to piss themselves laughing at it.
Oh God. Let's just look for
The one that was in
Extreme
the United
Chinese.
States.
Well, there was
Videos.
two. It started off in China or one of the Asian countries, and they made it into American. And the commentators absolutely hang shit on the competitors. And like they do stupid interviews,
I'm thinking of something different.
and they do stupid interviews at the start. It's like, "Who are you?" What? And they go and run over, and it's just like be stupid.
Oh
Cool.
God, what was it called? It was on Spike TV.
Yeah.
It was. It's just called Most Extreme Show. Okay.
It's the most extreme show.
There was another
What was
one
Kim?
too.
Kim was watching another one. There's a Japanese guy that they locked in this house, and he had to like do stuff to actually get any sort of food, and they would give him like pieces of food, and he had to try to figure out how to like make the food. They would give him rice, and he had to like try to figure out a way to soften the rice so he could eat it. So otherwise, it would just be like hard rice that you couldn't eat.
This is that show. This
Yeah,
is the one you're talking about, right?
It's kind of like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Wipeout was a show in the United States.
That's what it's called. Wipeout.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Wipeout.
It was Wipeout in the U.S.
Yep. But that's where that stuff came from.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, every TV show, essentially, except for the ones in the beginning, are copied. I mean, how many talent shows do we have? America's Got Talent.
Oh, my
The
God.
Masked Singer. There was even way more before, that. There was what's the other one? There was America's Got Talent and fucking The Voice. Mm-hmm. I mean, America got lazy. Let's be honest.
Well, you can only watch so many reruns of Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah. Especially now.
What was that dude's name? Bob. What's his the guy's
Bob
name?
Barker?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Or Pat Sajak.
Yeah. You know who made Bob Barker famous?
Bob Barker.
Well, I never knew who Bob Barker was until I watched.
Happy Gilmore.
Happy
Until you watch
Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore.
Oh, no. Everyone knew who Bob Barker was
Yeah,
before
we
that.
all knew about. Yeah, that was my homesick. That was the entertainment in the morning. The
Yeah.
Price is Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Australians never
that-
knew who Bob Barker
Yeah,
was until
Australians didn't.
we watched
yeah,
it.
but you foreigners, come on.
So Happy Gilmore 2's coming out.
It doesn't look good.
Oh, I don't know.
I hope it's good, but it might be another part 2 that we don't need 30 years later.
Maybe they were filming that around Justine's dad's place up in New Jersey.
Really?
I think it'll be fine.
I don't know.
They keep saying they're going to make Goonies 2 as well, but I don't know.
I'll let you guys see it and tell me if I need to spend the time to watch it.
Have you watched the first one, Armando?
Yeah, I watched the first
Okay.
one.
So it's one movie you've watched. Okay, cool.
So I knew some guys in Colorado. There was 4 different friends. They were from military background, I believe. They all own Jeeps, and this is before I met them. They all went wheeling in Colorado mountains, and they came across a dead body.
How did we segue from Happy Gilmore to dead bodies, Gabe?
Because after that, they kind of helped the cops figure out what the vehicle was because they saw the tire marks and all this other stuff. So they called themselves the Goonies.
Oh.
Yeah, that's where I'm coming from.
Did the Goonies find a dead body? I thought that was Stand By Me.
That was Stand By Me.
Yeah.
Stand By Me found a dead body.
No, the Goonies found a dead body.
I don't know the Goonies story. I know.
No. The Goonies did. They found skeletons.
Well, and no, they felt the first guy who started looking for, what was his name? The guy lost his wallet. Remember, he was in the cooler. You remember the dead body was in the cooler?
I think so. I might be thinking of a different movie though.
I can't think of his name.
It's been ages since I've seen it.
I used to watch it religiously once a year because it's one of my favorite movies. What was his damn name?
Armando's like, can we go back to talking about F1 and racing and
He was an investigator.
I was saying, I'm like,
Yeah, he was an investigator. I can't remember what he was called.
It's been years since I've seen that thing.
Yeah,
hey,
classic.
did you guys know Supercross was in Birmingham last weekend?
No.
No.
What's Supercross? Is that a bike thing?
Yeah. So anyway, I started blasting.
So there I was.
Speaking of blasting, Jim Jordan was at a hearing for HR
Puffin stuff.
HR 39, which is a constitutional carry reciprocity act, which means if you have a concealed carry permit in your state, it can be used anywhere.
In any other state, yeah.
Anywhere.
I love this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame we need a permit to begin with, but one step at a time.
Yeah.
So
everything's changing. It's just like, I was watching the news today while I was having lunch about, they're trying to say Trump's trying to get rid of the education department.
Good.
And then they're saying that he's trying to give him more power. Well, he's not trying to get rid of the education department, full stop. He's just trying to make it run better.
Well,
because there's so many people in there that don't do the work they're supposed to.
Yeah, so what basically he's doing is what they're going to probably do with the ATF. I think I mentioned this a couple of episodes ago. They're going to divvy up the responsibilities because the Department of Education right now does not handle lunches, free lunch vouchers and all that stuff. It's Department of Health Services, I think it is.
Yep.
And then funding for handicap services and that sort of thing comes from a different fund. So they're going to break it up. It's not going to just be totally going away.
Correct.
Even though they're under different departments, they still fell under the Department of Education because of the education factor.
Mm-hmm. But there were so many buildings that had nobody in them.
Right.
So they're all fake jobs.
Yeah. Here's a myth or fact article on Department of Education. Myth: access to Pell Grants will end. Fact: the Pell Grant program will continue. It's a different line. The Pell Grant program was created before the Department of Education and will remain in place. Administration will shift to a different agency, such as the Department of Treasury. The American education will suffer as a myth. The fact is, the Department of Education has not closed achievement gaps or made education spending more efficient. Students, teachers, and taxpayers are better served by ending this failed experiment. There's a whole bunch of things going on here, but
it's huge.
There's a lot of gaslighting by liberals right now on why this is horrible. And to be honest with you, I like it because I don't have kids. I don't like my money going to fucking kids that I don't like, kids that I don't care about. Fucking juvenile delinquents.
Well, that was just
okay. So
go on,
break this down a little more. The Department of Education was only brought into the government in 1980. That was the founding of the Department of Education. Previous to 1980, we were high ranking in the world number one in 1979, and all of a sudden this Department of Education, which we spend crap ton of money on, now is sucking up every penny. There's teachers that are struggling to fund or they're self-funding everything for their classroom.
Yeah.
And because someone decided that, well, this is a freaking money grab, and they're hiring their brother and their cousin, their sister, their whatever. And now you have all these jobs that are at the government level that are not producing, that are taking the money the way it should be to our kids. So the idea of what it is taking about that, which the idea of what Doge is government efficiency. Lose the lack of efficiency, make it efficient, make it so that can work without 8 billion people working for it, and send those people back to classrooms. You want a job? Go be a teacher. You want to be part of education? Go be a teacher. We have a shortage of teachers everywhere. Like here, you cannot hire a teacher, so now they're lowering the standards on who can teach. And is that good for our kids? No.
It's the same here with these schools. Like one teacher is a coach, and he's coaching 4 different things.
Yeah,
and not having any funding. Like I think the wrestling team don't get any funding from the school. They don't get a school bus to take them to places that they compete at. It's so stupid that the state is not funding the schools the way they should. And they're not getting any federal help either.
Yeah,
like,
so...
This weekend we had come past with we had so many tornado events come through the weekend before. I was hoping the school was going to get taken away. Because the school is just so run down that it's being missed out on, because I think it's because of the education department. It just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. It's mismanaged money.
Yeah.
In Colorado, when I lived there, I remember the legal battle, or the legal argument, was that we don't want to legalize the voter argument, I should say. I'm sorry. Argument was that they didn't want to legalize marijuana. The argument for it was that it would go to the education system in Colorado. When they said that, it opened up a floodgate of investigations why the money for Colorado was not being spent towards schools and why it was being mismanaged. The entire time it was a liberal mayor and governor. So that story went away really quick for some reason, and it never went anywhere. But I guarantee you, that's the state. In every state, that's the same thing.
I just think there needs to be a whole new... We've got too many career people in places they shouldn't be. Like, there needs to be a term. It doesn't matter if it's the school board or it's the local county, whatever it is. You have 8 years of being on that board. Once your 8 years is up, get the fuck out. Because you're taking damn handouts. Why else would you be in that job for so long and earn... It's not a good wage.
Yeah.
Everyone's got their hand in the cookie jar. The only people who don't have their hand in the cookie jar are people like us that pay tax, work 9 to 5. We're the only ones that don't have our hands in the cookie jar. But we're the ones that want to come into it to make a difference on those boards because we're living it.
Yeah. I guarantee a lot of that money also is being allocated to schools' football and basketball programs. These schools think that that's the moneymaker for them. But how many times have we seen revenue come from high school football? Everyone knows that it's a big deal. High school football is a big deal because it transitions into college, which is nowadays a big economy. There's a lot of money there. So I remember when we fostered my wife's sister, right after her parents passed away, we had to take her in. She was going to be a cheerleader. And they wanted thousands of dollars for cheerleading.
Yeah.
And then they wanted money for books. I was like, wait a minute. Aren't you supposed to supply the fucking books?
Yeah. Yeah. The girls' school that they go to here, if you want to be a cheerleader, you have to pay a lot of money because you've got to go off-site for training. It doesn't get done at school. They pay someone to train the kids to be cheerleaders. And I was just like, this stuff should be done at school.
Yeah.
Like, why are we paying extra money for them to go learn cheer at someone else's business? Where's the cheer teacher for the school? Like, it's just so wrong in so many different ways. And like volleyball here, if you're not one of those rich parents, your kid doesn't get to play volleyball. Because it's not on merit. It's like how much money you have that you're going to put towards the volleyball team so your kid can play.
There's a lot of baseball teams like that.
And it's wrong. Like the poorest kid could be the damn best player that team has ever seen.
Yeah.
It's because the schools aren't supporting these sporting teams. It's the parents.
Yeah. So out here, we have a lot of charter schools, and a lot more people send their kids to charter schools, and the public schools are losing head count because the charter schools are getting their funding and they're doing their own things. And we see it even through there is the fact that the funding for the sports programs in high school is very weird, that the boosters do so much to raise money for sports out here. So much so that I believe there's even the fact that they're moving people into the district and they have funded housing. So, hey, your kid's really good. Your kid's really going to be big. Well, let's move you to this area. You'll be in the district. You won't have to do anything else. And it feels like that because Arizona probably has a 3% black population. And we have entire school teams that are all black. And I'm like, you can go to the city and not see
a black person,
one black person.
Yep.
But you end up having a whole team.
Yeah,
There's
it's
something
iffy.
that's there. That's recruiting. That's some recruitment. That's whatever. And hey, I'm all for it. You guys want to play? You're good, whatever. But like, it's very odd that you can see that that shift happens in certain places.
So where do charter schools get their funding from?
They get it from the state, but it's a different funding than what public schools get. So
Right.
they do get funding from the Department of Education. So they're getting money, but they also have to manage it differently. And in every charter school out here, and any person out here that goes to charter school, you'll know that you're going to get a different education and likely a better education than you would get at public schools. The teachers get paid a little bit more. They get a little more back behind them. And there's nothing there that says that in that statement that says the public school teachers aren't better or they're worse than there. It's just different. It's just weird how we allow this bulldozing to happen where it's not just like, okay, the Department of Education should just be put the money in the school. I mean, we've built all these schools on public property, school property. You have the school district that now manages that, and then now they're not getting the funding that they need. They're not getting this. They're not getting that. And all of a sudden, these charter schools are building on their own funding, which is from the government, and doing more. So, where's the problem? Where does the problem lie? It's efficiency. It's just there's too much crap going through it.
It's also regulation. I think Elon said it once before that if you have more regulation, you have more people that need to regulate it.
Yeah.
So an example of that is this. There's 23 million civilian employees of the government, state, local, and federal. 11 million work in education. That's almost half. 6.7 of those are not teachers. Over half. So education is top heavy and bloated.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, and no one says we don't want to teach our kids. We don't want to have the Department of Education there to teach our kids. What we want is it to run better so that the kids, my kids are out of school, but my kids will be having kids at some point in their lives. So I know. Imagine that.
Well, it's getting worse because half the kids can't even read.
Yeah.
Because they're just getting pushed through school. They're not. The teachers don't care because they don't give a shit. They're going to get paid at the end of the week, whether they teach or not. Because who's going to come in behind them? Who's going to take their jobs? Nobody.
But it's not even that. It's just there's so many kids. They're overworked, overburdened. They don't have the resources because there's not funding. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, more teachers, more people kick back to go work in if you're really that fond of education, jump back in a classroom, take the load off the other teachers, make it so that the teaching is better. Have 2 teachers to a classroom if you only have certain space. And then you can actually have 2 people that are minding and teaching and mentoring and doing what they need to do. And that would be the biggest thing you could do is
Correct.
help the teachers teach the kids instead of spending the money somewhere else.
Yeah.
So this is the receipt that I'm bringing for my stat that I just brought out. It's a graph. This is a source for the National Center of Education and Statistics. It just shows it right there. 138% non-teaching staff.
Does that have
since 1970? What's that?
I can't see I can't blow it up.
Oh, it says since 1970, total student enrollment in public schools increased by 3.7 million or 8%. However, during the same period, total education staffing rose by 2.8 million or 84%. Most notable was the growth in non-teaching staff, which increased by 138%.
See, why did it spike at 1990? What was the catalyst for it to spike in 1990 to go up and up and up and up and up?
Clinton, I think he
10 years in, realized there's a moneymaker to be there, and they started making money.
Yeah, I think that was the time that he started. He did something with similar to what Doge is doing, and I think he had something to do with the funding. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, because that's a big growth. Like that's a big spike. That's like when the 2020 election that they were doing this, and then Biden had a big spike. That's what that looked like.
Crazy shit, man.
Because it's not like all of a sudden in 1990 that we had an influx of millions of kids going to school. Like, what needed to change to have that spike?
Yeah. And lower test scores as a result from all of that.
Yeah.
So, just weird. Really, really bizarre shit.
Yep.
Oh, boy. How did we get here?
Yeah.
So my mum and dad were in bed one. I think it was in bed. I think they
don't
did
talk
something.
about your mother that way.
You just asked how I got here. I was just telling you.
Back of a 72 Pontiac.
It was a rainy night one night.
Yes, it would have been down some dirt road somewhere.
It was a night. It was in a date at the drive-in movie theater.
Yes.
It all started in a small fishing village.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right. What do you think we should wrap it up here then?
We should. I wish Ralph would come out because he turns 2 today.
Oh, happy birthday, Ralph.
Yeah, Ralph turned 2.
Good for him.
You would never know. And he's given me a present because my eyes acting up with
allergies.
Yeah. Thanks, Ralph.
Good boy. Good boy.
Yeah. It's his birthday present to me.
No, that's not it. You're going to get pink eye now because he's going to go outside, eat his shit, or the rabbit shit.
Mm-hmm. He does eat all the rabbit shit. How do you stop
and then
him
lick
eating rabbit
himself, and then lick himself, and then lick you?
shit? Yeah.
Or he's going to sit his ass on your pillow.
No, he's not allowed on my bed, but he does get up there. I busted him. I come home and here he is in the bed. And I'm like, Justine, why is I let him up here? Like, why do you always make me be the ass?
That's funny.
Not let on the couch, not let on the beds, but you open the kids' rooms, he's up on the bed. I come home, he's on the couch. I just want to wear black clothes. I want to sit on the couch and I have to get up and I've got dog hair all over me.
That's why you get a black dog.
Yeah, especially when you get up and you can't see your back.
That's funny.
And you're walking outside and you've got half a dog on your back. I don't know.
Need a smaller dog.
No, I wouldn't trade
Smaller
him.
hair.
I wouldn't trade him out. He's too good of a dog.
Start getting some white shirts.
For a dog that hasn't been trained, he's trained himself. So he's been the easiest. And he's my first inside dog. Every other dog I've had has been outside. In Australia, we don't keep dogs inside.
No.
They're out. Unless it's a poodle. Poodles stay inside because they're small.
Might get eaten by a dingo.
Yeah, or an eagle come down and take it away thinking it's a little lamb.
Ma, the dingle ate the baby.
It's the most Australia thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They came in and stole my baby. The dingo got my baby.
Fucking love it.
Yes.
All right. Well, everyone, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Spotify, and wherever the fuck else you might find us. iTunes, iHeartRadio. Yeah, give us some love. Especially leave a comment, especially if you love the show that much. We've gained a lot of followers, so
That's very good.
subscribers. So good stuff.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
All right.
Have a good one. See ya.
Bye-bye.
See ya.